Brilliant. So I'm really chuffed. I'll start with one of my highlights for today. Oh, well, I had a lovely Christmas. It was great. It was very relaxed. It seems so long ago now. It was just, I only came back last Thursday and I'm like, wow, really? That's only a week? Feels like a month so far. Never mind. Everyone's got issues. So we had a win today. So this is a golf club that had an employee who started 20 hours a week, and she started back last May. In July, she had a shouting match, yelling and screaming at the bar manager, and stormed out. Now, this is a hindsight thing, so we're changing how we do things going forward. She then, I think the next day, called in sick and then got sick notes. Okay, and we're like, okay, that's fine. We will invite her in for an investigation meeting when she comes back from sick leave, bearing in mind she only has SSP. Okay. And actually, I don't think she even qualified for SSP because she hadn't been there long enough to have crossed the hurdle. So she was on no sick pay. And so we're like, well, obviously she'll be in soon. No, it took until this morning for her to be well enough to come back to work. Okay. And in the meantime, she's been raising subject access requests. She has, sorry, 1 second, somebody's trying to come in. Who I don't want to come in. I have the power. I love the power on Zoom. Subject access requests multiple times. Upset about not having a privacy policy when she started, but we've issued one now, and she said, I'll report you to the ICO. It's like, you do know the ICO don't care about this. Unless you're like talking when you've lost 40,000 people's credit card details, they're not going to get involved in this. But she's adamant that this is a big thing. Anyway, left, right, and centre. So on Tuesday, we did a settlement agreement because we're like, we don't really want her back. So if we could get her to agree to consider a settlement agreement, we'll do that. So I sent her an email on Tuesday saying, we'll give you 2 months' money plus your notice, and you don't have to come back. Okay. And strangely, given that all the other emails we've been exchanging with her, she's straight back, no response at all, even though it says it's been delivered. And we're like, okay. On Wednesday, she said, which is only yesterday, she says, should I come back to work or not? And we're like, oh, so she has read the email with the offer because it says you can stay at home, and she's not sure whether she's coming in. And so I sent her another email because still nothing back from her, and said, look, you need to confirm by 4 o'clock whether you even got the email. You don't have to agree to anything. Just have you received the email? 4:45, still nothing come back. So I go back to her and say, I'm withdrawing the offer. She apparently got that email. Don't know why she didn't get the other emails, but she got that email. And then she said, should I come in tomorrow? And we said, yes, absolutely. Come in tomorrow. Made sure she understood that. And she's like, yes, I will be in at 9:15. And we're like, really? Because as soon as she's back at work, does she not realize we're going to do an investigation meeting for the incident back in July which is gross misconduct? And apparently not. She really did not see that coming. So the club manager then said, right, I need to have a chat. We're going to do an investigation meeting about this incident. Oh, you can't do a meeting. I came back to work. You can't do a meeting without telling me. Yeah, we can. Well, this is awful. And he's like, look, I want to hear your side of the story. Oh, well, yeah, because everything you know is wrong. Yes, because I've got the recording. Yeah, but we need to know what happened. So this is what we think happened. This is what we've heard. And halfway through his second sentence, she says, oh, well, you can't do this to me anyway because I'm resigning. And we're like, okay. And actually, the club manager got a little bit carried away and he said, no, you're not resigning. We're firing you. No, take the resignation. We like the resignation anyway. And she's like, no, you can't fire me because I'm resigning. Like, this is awful. You can't treat me like this. And he's like, okay, you're resigning. He's like, well, I was only trying to do an investigation to find out you're so sorry. And she's like, no, I am definitely resigning and you cannot fire me. Great. 3 times on audio. Fantastic. And storms out. So we have then gone back to her, acknowledged her resignation with immediate effect. So we've saved ourselves the notice period, issued her P45. She is now a leaver. We've not terminated her while she was on sick leave because there was potential mental health thing there. It's about a gross misconduct situation that happened last year, which has nothing to do with her race because she is Polish or her age. She's not allowed to shout at people. We tried to have an investigation meeting. She refused to cooperate and resigned. There is no claim there. Not even an ambulance chaser would take that on. because they're like, yeah, if they'd actually dismissed you, you might get something, but you resigned with immediate effect. So we're both, me and the club manager have had so many conversations. They're going, she really came back, because that was all we wanted to do, is to come back so we could dismiss her. And we thought, she'll never do that. Why would she do that? If she's getting the right advice, she'll never come back. And she did. And we're like, well, you're dismissed. No, I resigned. Well, that's even better. This is great. So we've and now, of course, now she's the leaver, we are actually not going to deal with any of her grievances in a meeting way. We don't have to. It's post termination. We can say, okay, noted. We've taken steps. It won't happen again. We consider this matter resolved. And there's nothing she can do about it, because ACAS doesn't care about post-termination grievances. So that's really good. And if she comes back and says, I'm not happy about this, go to ACAS, early consideration. Conciliation, more coffee. And that means we don't have to talk to her, because her emails, as we all know, when you have a disgruntled employee, all the emails get very long and you're like, I don't want to read this. Whereas ACAS will give you the executive summary and say she would like this amount of money. And we're happy to pay her, no problem at all. But we want to do it obviously in an agreement so she can't come back to us. And so I'm going to say this has been going on for the past 3 weeks, and I'm so happy today. I'm like, I couldn't have programmed this happening, because it was so dependent on her doing something that I couldn't make her do. And she did it, and it's great. Yay. Sorry, that was my very dramatic thing today. So questions from people. Okay, Melanie Pointer was quickest by a fraction of a second.
I need to go first. It's fine. Someone else can go first. I can wait.
No, it's fine. No, it's okay.
You sure? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I've got a situation between two staff. Oh, what a joy. Okay. And it's because one of them's more senior than the other, and knows a lot of stuff. So is training the other people that are less senior, and has a sort of one of the people who she's trained came to me a few weeks back and said, I feel like she's undermining me in front of patients and whatever. So I was like, okay, fine, I understand that. So I went and spoke to the person in question and said, look, can you not give feedback in front of clients? Can you do this? We did all that sort of stuff. She's like, oh yeah, fine, whatever. Anyway, things I thought were okay. And then I got another email from the same person saying it hasn't improved. I feel like I'm not supported. She doesn't train me properly because of the way of this, and this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, I'll look into it. And I've said that because the person that's apparently undermining her, let's say, is going away for a few weeks. So I said, well, look, we'll sort this out, sort your training out while she's away, and then I will train her how to train you. But I don't know if I'm missing a trick here, or there's something else I need to be careful of or not, because it's not really, it's not a complaint as such. It's just sort of highlighting how she feels.
No, it's a grievance. She's raising a grievance. So it should really be done in the formal grievance procedure. So which would be that you have a grievance meeting with the person who sent you the email, okay, and get more details, exactly what was said.
I
don't know how much you've got, but you get more details from them, and then you would go to the trainer and say, right, we're going to do an investigation meeting to talk about these things, which would be the first stage before it went to a disciplinary. You don't say that bit, but you say this is an investigation meeting to talk about things that have been going on. And then you say, right, talk to me about this relationship. And then you can go through the details of what they've raised and say, okay, so on Tuesday, you said da-da-da in front of Mrs. Carolyne. Talk me through why you felt that was appropriate, that type of thing, and to see what the person says and then make a decision about whether we're doing disciplinaries. Yeah? Okay.
So my perception is that the person doesn't mean to be like it for whatever reason, but it's difficult to know how you decide that. Do I have a meeting with them both there, or is that a bit...
No.
Okay.
No. You need the grievance needs to be, and you've tried to resolve it informally. So what you've done so far, it is absolutely fine. But now she sent you that email, you should really have a grievance meeting. So you go, look, I've done it. I've done that first bit, and then you need to have a full meeting with this other person, because the informal chat you had with them last time, obviously they didn't take it seriously. So now you need to say, right, okay, just sitting you down, this is an investigation. I'll send you the script, but this is an investigation meeting. I'm going to record it. You're welcome to record it as well, because I need to talk about some incidents that have been happening.
Right. And because this person's going away in a couple of days, there's not going to be an opportunity. And I thought, rather than do it before they go away, is it okay to wait until they're back?
I'm going to say legally, yes, but practically no, because I'll go, I don't remember. It was 4 weeks ago. I don't remember. So there's going to be no point doing it when they come back, because their defense, which would be understandable, is I don't remember saying that. Whereas if you do it now, and it doesn't have to be a long meeting, is it was yesterday sort of thing, or last Friday, you must remember what you said. Yeah, that, right. But you wouldn't say it like that. Sorry, that's more aggressive than you would be. But at least you've got a chance to go, it's strange how you seem to not remember all these negative things, but you remember the positive things. So whereas if you do it whenever she comes back, whenever they come back, then they're going to be justifiably, I don't remember what I did 4 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And if she says, I didn't mean to be like that and all the rest of it, do I then say she needs training? Oh.
Well, yeah, it's like, it's not a defense, isn't it? Well, I didn't mean to hurt you. Yeah, but you did hurt. And that's inappropriate. And I've spoken to you about it already, and you agreed you would change. You don't seem to have done that. How can I help you to change? Would it be good if we did some training? Because the way you are speaking to them is totally inappropriate. And then I think if you don't want to go down the disciplinary route, which is fine at this stage, that you should, though, after that investigation meeting, issue an advisory note saying, we discuss, and we can work on the wording with you, it's fine, but we discussed this, what was appropriate, what isn't appropriate, i.e. no feedback in front of clients, yeah, that type of thing. And then we've drawn a line in the sand, we've documented it, and then if she comes back from her few weeks and keeps doing it, then we will feel we have given her a fair chance, and we could then do the disciplinary thing if we wanted to. A lot easier.
Right. So if she says, yes, I'd like help to change, and then I implement training, then that's fine.
But you're still giving her the advisory note, because the advisory note is then saying, and we have agreed that you will go through this training when you return from your absence. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Melanie, you really want an email that just says, play nicely, children.
Yeah, and if that was enough, we wouldn't have as many wars as we have, I feel, at this stage. Some people just delight in winding other people up, and they're like, well, this is just... And sorry, I do a lot of this sort of therapy stuff on Instagram and everything, and they're ones who the defense is, well, this is just who I am. I just say it like it is. No, that is not an excuse. We are polite to each other and professional. Just because that's how you would like to say it doesn't mean you get to say it like that. But I would say, as a business owner, it's like, particularly there are lots of things I would like to say to you that I'm not allowed to, because I've been speaking to HR and they said I'm not allowed to use swear words in front of staff anymore. Yes. Or even tasers. So no, be professional. Yes. Go. Melanie Drake, how are things your end?
Okay, good, thank you. Snowy.
Oh, okay, really? We've got sunshine and no snow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, snowy. I've currently got a full-time member of staff who is on reduced hours because of a medical condition.
Right.
Waiting for a fit note to top up on SSP on the hours that he is short on his full-time contract. We've agreed that that's what we're going to do until we can get the next consultant's review. Yep. He has asked the question, can he take some of his holiday during this bridging time? So
to top up his salary.
To top up his salary, so that he obviously doesn't have his holiday to take later in the year. So I've then talked it through with myself and have come full circle, because usually if you've pre-booked your holiday and you are then sick, you can reclaim your holiday. However, I think this may sit slightly outside that, and that he could actually take 1 day's holiday and still then take the balance on his SSP. But I thought before I say anything, I need to just check what the ruling is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It wouldn't really apply. I know legally you could do that, but you should have in your documents, because it's what we have as standard in our documents, that if you do that, you're only being paid SSP. So it's going to be a problem anyway. The point is he's asked for a holiday while he's sick, sort of partially sick, rather than you putting him on holiday. Yeah. So I don't think it's a risk. And certainly with all the other situations where they've asked to use holiday, they've never come and said, actually, I was sick, therefore I want it back again. So
I've had it. I have had that before. And actually, I've had that recently this year when a member of staff had pre-booked holiday and he was off sick.
No, but that's different. This guy hasn't got any pre-booked holiday though, has he?
No, he hasn't. No.
Yeah, so that's the thing. He's saying, I don't have any holiday booked. I've got this holiday. Can I use it while I'm going? So I would say, yes, if you put in the request, you can, as long as it's not, I don't think it affects the SSP particularly. It would be fine. And it is okay to be, he's partially off sick anyway, isn't he? To have a day a week or something as holiday.
So at the moment he's kind of doing 2 days, some weeks 3 days, depending on what we're doing. If he then took 1 day's holiday and topped up 2 days sick, that's okay. Yeah. If he decided that he wanted to take 3 days holiday, 2 days working, and no SSP, is that also okay?
The SSP carries on. So the SSP. So
you take no SSP that week, and then you can take SSP the following week, and SSP the following week, because it's 26 weeks.
No, the SSP is part of the holiday payment. So he's paid full pay for the holiday, but because he's off sick and you've got the sick note for the full time
period.
Yeah. So then part of that holiday payment, because he is sick, is the SSP. So it doesn't matter to him. He's not taking it. He just gets the full pay for that day. How we do it in the accounting side of things is something different, but that's nothing for him to concern himself with. But if you put it in, your payroll system should say, okay, so you get paid full pay there. You've got a sick note. I'm going to say,
So his holiday, if he gets X amount SSP for the 3 days, and he takes 1 day's holiday, he will get paid the top up. He'll get the top up of the SSP on that holiday. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So actually, that doesn't. Yeah, that's fine. That's all right.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Good, lovely. Tony, do you have any questions? No, all good. Alison, hello, welcome to our little group here. Do you have any questions, or are you?
No, I don't. No,
gloriously happy.
Well, I wouldn't get that far, but no questions at the moment, thanks.
Okay. The other thing, just for us to end on, is something that we internally struggled with last year, which was about when somebody is off long-term sick and you terminate them, how much of their notice should be at full pay. Okay. Particularly if they're on SSP now, or the SSP is being exhausted. Now, we had a statement from a solicitor last year, which I didn't feel was right, but as of last night, I can confirm it definitely wasn't right. So I'm just saying, not all solicitors are gods of knowledge. So if they are off sick, and for example, you went through a redundancy process, and you can put somebody through a redundancy process who is off sick, and you come to the end and you're going to make them redundant, if they are on statutory notice, so 1 week for every completed year of service, even if they are off sick, they get paid their full pay for that notice period. If they get more than the statutory notice period, so say they were entitled to 4 weeks statutory notice, but you actually had a 2 month notice period, they wouldn't get anything. They would only get whatever the sick pay is that they're owed for that notice period. Okay. However, if they give you notice, and they're supposed to give you 4 weeks notice, and they do that, but they're off sick and they're not earning any money, they would only get 1 week of their full pay, and the rest would be at the sick pay amount. Okay. And it's just those two things. But the important thing is that most of our advice on this is 95% the employer terminating the employee. You have to remember, if you've only got a statutory notice period and they're off sick, you will have to pay them full pay for those weeks of notice. If it's longer than the statutory notice period, you won't have to pay them anything. So it's just something to bear in mind. There are swings and roundabouts to both. as we know, having different lengths of notice periods. Most of the time it is worth having a statutory notice period, but it's just if they are off sick, you are going to have to pay them full pay for that time. So, Melanie Drake, is that clear as mud-ish? Yeah, okay, good. Because it took us a while last year, and we had it slightly differently. But now I've spoken to the CIPD, and they went, oh yeah, no, it's this and this. I'm like, wow, that's great, thank you very much. So that's just something to bear in mind when you do want to part company with somebody. You can off long terms that you will have to be paying that if they're on statutory notice, an extra cost. Okay, lovely. Okay, well, I'm going to go and deal with the very busy inbox, all the stuff that's piled up over Christmas. Yes, all these issues. But looking forward to seeing you all next week, and have a lovely weekend. All right, take care. Bye.
Take care, bye.
Thanks for watching. If you want a free tribunal audit of your employment contract and handbook, click the link in the description below.